Let's bring in the one and only Ben Stein. He grew up in the 60s, worked for Richard Nixon's 1968 campaign, served in his White House. He's an economist and writer and actor. And if you don't remember the 1960s, you may know him best for this scene.
Bueller, Bueller, Bueller.
That's, of course, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Ben Stein, thanks so much for joining us. Let's travel back in time. Let's travel back in time. This is you in 1969. Let's show a picture of that. There you are. Very cool, very radical. What did the 60s mean to you?
A lot of sex, a lot of drugs. When the 60s started, you were lucky to get a goodnight kiss from a girl if you went on a date with her. When the 60s ended, it was very rare not to have sex. When the 60s began, none of us knew what marijuana even looked like. When the 60s ended, we were all high all the time. It was a lot of fun, unless you were being sent to Vietnam and getting killed. Then it was horrible. But for those of us who were staying behind, it was great, great times. We had enormous progress in civil rights, enormous progress in the rights of man, generally speaking. And God, did we have fun. And at those demonstrations, there was a lot of bawling.
Okay. So you heard the Smothers Brothers just a few minutes ago doing what they call reflecting the changing times. In that instance, they were talking about the war in Vietnam. Tonight's episode of this series is about the age of television in the 60s. What role do you think television played in forming and reflecting the culture of that time?
Well, television there were two kinds. There was entertainment television, which was predominantly showing very negative images of businessmen, of the government, of the military, of small towns. That was a kind of universal theme of entertainment television. And there was the news media showing a universal negative theme about the war in Vietnam, about Nixon, about business. The news media just really went to town as a partisan force in the 60s, way beyond anything that had been dreamt of before that.
So you think it was partisan? You don't think, for instance, reporters taking a side in the civil rights battles, which you applauded a second ago, was just reflecting the morality, the moral side of things?
I absolutely, without question, no doubt about that. And by the way, the newspapers in the South were taking a very, very different point of view. It's interesting. We all know about the newspapers in the North, but the newspapers in the South were very alarmed about integration. But I'm talking about the attacks on business, the attacks on Mr. Nixon, the attacks on the war in Vietnam. And by the way, the attacks on the war in Vietnam, I think, were quite correct and quite justified. We shouldn't have been there. It was a meat grinder. My father-in-law was there, was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross for his service there, and he said if he were a young man, he'd be demonstrating against it too. So the media was right in that side, but they stopped any pretense of impartiality or neutrality during the 60s and became an extremely partisan force, as I say, anti-Republican, anti-war in Vietnam, anti-business, and it has stayed that way with one obvious notable exception since then.
I assume you're talking about me. The show tonight also talks about the role of the famous first televised debate between Nixon and Kennedy in 1960. Yes. How big an impact do you think that had on the role of politics and television continuing from 1960 forward?
A huge, huge impact, because for those of us who were listening to it on the radio, it sure seemed as if Nixon won. But Nixon looked so much worse than Kennedy, that made a huge impression. I mean, the visual really took over as opposed to the audio, and Kennedy looked so great, it sounded so cool, and Nixon looked so worried and just did not look like a person you'd want to be president. That television debate was incredibly important.
Lastly, sir, you were very close with Nixon. There's even video of you tearing up during his resignation. How do you think?
Still am.
You still
still cry about it. Still cry about it.
And when you think about his role in the 60s, what do you think?
I think he was the greatest peacemaker this country has ever known. I think he took a country that was at war within itself and at war overseas, and he brought us peace, set up a structure of peace that lasted for a generation. And he is very much missed, and I will, no matter what people say about him, I will never turn my back on a peacemaker, never.